Hi there, and welcome to the Superwoman Entrepreneurs Global Mastermind every Tuesday, same time, same place coaching session. And today we're going to chat about your marketing plan. Now, that's something that every business is needing. And remember, what I found is usually when the crux come or when there's all these bad times, majority of the time it is the marketing that's being cut first, which I fully don't always understand why, but that is majority of the time of what happens. So when you do get in that situation when crunch time is hitting, I personally believe it's one of the worst decisions that you could ever make is to actually then cut your marketing plan during those crunch times. So welcome, Suzanne. Thank you so much for joining us today. As
Good.
mentioned, we're talking about your marketing plan and what that entails within every business.
Yeah,
So,
I am. I am ready to soak up all the wisdom today.
all right, brilliant. So, let's start off with any marketing plan. The first thing when you start out with any marketing plan is to actually find out who's your target audience. Who's your target audience? What does the market need? As any entrepreneur, we strive to actually give a service to someone or to meet a need, right?
Yeah,
And you may say that the market is very saturated. That might be very true. However, that also shows that there's a market demand. It also shows that there is a lot of money going in and out of that market. The big thing is just what differentiates you. And that's what part of the marketing plan is. So figure out who's your target audience. And then as you get clearer on your messaging, that would help you align the niche that you're actually going to be part of, right? So
yeah,
let's start off with the first thing is think about who your target audience is. Where do they hang out? What do they do? Where do they get their information from? Next step is, well, do you have access to the market? Is there a way that you can gain access to them? Are there groups that you can join? Are there networking events you can join? If you want access to your marketing or to your target audience, which incorporates your marketing plan, know where your target audience is actually hanging out. And if you have access to that market in any form of way, can you join a group? Can you join a networking event? Are there expos that you can attend? I know all of this is very out there when it comes to COVID, and luckily those things are dying down a little bit of it now, majority of the places. But that's where you kind of have to think of. So, where's your market? Do you have access to them? And is there a way to enter the market through that? Now, that's usually where it comes to your differentiating factor. What makes your business special? Now, there's people usually get somewhat offended when I say this, but there is a lot of business and there's a lot of people that do similar types of businesses. Um, the thing is, though, there's no one that can do that business the way that you do. No one has
yeah,
your experience, no one has your mindset, no one has the way that you think about a problem. And that is the way that you give value to a specific niche. Because there will
yeah,
be people that have similar mindsets and that is drawn to you in that specific way. And that's how you carve out your niche
yeah,
is to actually use your experience, use your background, use everything that makes you you in your business.
yeah,
The value proposition is always where the difference lies. It's not necessarily in the service offering. Meaning, if you clean houses, how many other cleaning companies are there? Quite a few. They all kind of do the same service. They clean your house. If
yeah,
there's plumbers, they're certified. Everyone kind of cleans or does the plumbing, right? There's certain needs that people do that is similar, but the value proposition in how they execute it is where the value proposition actually lies. So, all right, so now we got it. We know where your target audience is, who they are, what they do, where they get their information from, and now you have that extra bit of this is how I want to serve the industry. Make sure that you actually have done your research to see that the market wants it in that way as well.
mm,
That's a big thing. If you can have, for example, a plumbing service that only operates from midnight to 3 a.m., how big is your target audience?
not a
Think
lot.
about think about these things, even though it could be a really big niche. If there's a big city and there's constantly people going around, like a Tokyo or a New York or whichever cities that never sleep, but in a small town, probably not so much.
No, no.
So that's where you have to really, really think about what your value proposition is compared to the rest within the context and within your market.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
Next step. Now we know who they are, where they are, what they want, how they want it, and what your value proposition is. Now we start looking at our traffic sources when it comes to your marketing plan. Where does your target audience hang out with? Like I said, it's the different groups that you can hang out with, the expos, the live events, but it can also be certain places like online. So Suzanne, let's take your business for example. You
yeah.
are a phenomenal mindset transformation coach. I love this tagline that you have, like spiral up, because a
Yes.
lot of us know how to spiral down, but
Yeah,
it's a very difficult situation to take that and we spiral back up. So
exactly.
let's
But
take,
possible. Yeah,
mm, let's
yeah.
take that for example. Where would your clientele hang around?
Well, I've been told that it's Pinterest, but I have no clue really about Pinterest. So I've really avoided that. There's a lot on Facebook, but sorry, Facebook, but I am losing trust in Facebook in terms of advertising and things like that. So, um, and LinkedIn, definitely more on LinkedIn these days, I think, more the professional, um, the people who are either in their own business or wanting to be in their own business, and they're usually hanging out on LinkedIn. Yeah.
All right, so let's take this as a case study to explain how to put your marketing plan together.
Yeah.
If you know that, all right, there has been seen or saying that your client hangs around on Pinterest, all right, that's a yes and a no.
Yeah.
Depends on like basically, are you targeting housewives? Are you targeting upper level or middle level management? Because those also
Yeah.
play an effect. What is the age group that you're after?
Yeah. So I'm thinking that 45, 60, 65, that sort of range.
So those ranges are more on Pinterest and on Facebook.
Okay.
Definitely. That is an age group that is usually on those type of things. But
Okay.
again, that comes where your market research comes in. So let's say,
Yeah.
for example, now we know where they hang out. And I'm sure they are also hanging out at Tupperware stores, for
Yes.
example. Or those parties that they have. Um,
Yeah.
um, or what other places do these older type of women hang out with? Coffee shops, markets.
Definitely coffee shops. Yeah. Markets.
These
Um,
type of things. But that's where you start going think where does my target audience hang out with? All right,
yeah.
they do hang out with these things. They're usually a lot in these female empowerment groups as well. They
Yes.
usually like to be part of some sort of community. So is there a way that you have access to that? Well, yeah, of course you have access. You're an empowered female. You have access.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how can we get you in front of those people in order to give the access to them? Well, you join the groups, you
Yeah.
join the communities, you show up where they show up. So
Yeah.
when we look at our market traffic sources, when you start doing up your marketing plan, think about all these different aspects of where you gain your clientele from, where do they hang out, and do you have access to that specific market? Now, for you,
Yeah.
we've established it. We've got that. All right. Now, the next step is when you do your marketing plan, we've established all of our traffic sources. You can get into very nitty gritty of each and every campaign on a platform. But for
Yeah.
now, let's just take the overall thing. We do want to funnel all of our target audience and everyone that we get into one funnel so there's no dilution in message. And then you can later segment them, right? Because all businesses have got different service offerings. If it is to clean your house, perhaps you also have a specialized offer that you only do one room per house, or that you don't include washing, but if you would include cooking, I'm not entirely sure. But let's just think about different service offerings. So there's
Yeah.
segments in your service offerings, right? But we first want to get people that is really interested in you as an overall and as the service overall, and then we can segment. So what is your lead magnet? Now a lead magnet is something that will turn a glance into a stare. To go,
Mm,
right, no, I want to know more about this.
mm, yeah.
So when you do those lead magnets, literally think about what would turn a head in your business. So for
Mm,
a cleaning company, for example, you could have a night off instead of cleaning. For a busy mom, a night off, a night of relaxation or getting home and the house is clean,
mm.
the garbage is
Beautiful.
taken out, all these different things.
Yeah.
So, what is that lead magnet that they would get? Um, Simple example, 30 minutes of cleaning in your house. Don't
Mm,
you think if you would be able to supply someone 30 minutes of cleaning within their house, they would want you to do the rest?
yeah. Absolutely.
Especially
Absolutely.
if it's a larger house, which again in the COVID situation, majority of people have moved into larger homes, but that is an
Yeah.
adjustment because now there's more space. They're used to an apartment, now there's a house.
Yeah.
But these are the type of things that you do think of. What is the need of your clientele right now that they will see as massive value that wouldn't cost you that much, that would lead into something extra? That would be in
Mm.
our next phase is the tripwire. So a tripwire
Okay.
is, think of those spy movies where they trip
Yes.
over this little line string that's there, and then all of these arrows came flying and balls coming your way. That's a tripwire.
Yep.
So when you do the tripwire, we need to ask yourself, what is that thing that would make someone actually convert into doing what you want them to do? So, for
Mm.
example, make you ask you to actually come to your house and do a 20-minute, half an hour cleaning session. And what you do is you clean one section of that house or one area to the T so that everything else in that house looks completely dull, looks completely horrible compared to that.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that's how you show value to someone. Because
Yeah.
I can guarantee you, if you've been able to do a massively good job in one area, usually that will translate into the next. And that's how
Yeah.
you're able to upsell. So again, we're looking at our traffic sources. Just to recap, where do all of our business comes from? How can you gain access to that? What
Mm.
is your value proposition that your target audience wants? Then
Mm-hmm.
what's your lead magnet? How do we turn that that glance into a ooh, I want to know more.
Yeah.
Hmm. Next step is how do we turn that glance into an action item? How do we make them take that step? And that's kind of where that $1 million offer comes in. I will
Right.
be in your house for 30 minutes or whatever on us. Come check us out. Come see what you have. And for your session, Suzanne, will probably be like a 15 minutes consultation
Mm.
to get to know you,
Mm.
see how you can help people break through that limiting belief systems that they have.
Yeah.
Whatever the next step might be. So always lead with value. When you lead with value, people people are more likely to give you a chance when they usually would not.
Yes.
How
Yeah.
have you found this in your business?
Yeah, well, because I'm in that transition of, going from one-on-one counselling, there was no need for any of this marketing or any of that. So I'm learning this as I'm getting my work online, and I have created many, many lead magnets, but I don't think I've done it in the right way somehow. I think there's something missing. So I need a bit more of your wisdom on that. I think about, I mean, the idea actually of a 15-minute free consultation, that makes perfect sense to me because that's me talking with them. There's that one on one contact.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good idea, I think. In the
Especially if
past, I've done, PDFs or, ebooks or things like that. So they're great value, but it doesn't actually bring the people in.
it would bring people in afterwards because then you probably referred something in that and say, hey, but you know what? Let me give you something of that. Would that help you?
Yeah.
Because now you've
Yeah.
established relationship and you've established a way of contact, and now you've got something afterwards to be in their inbox that reminds you of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, don't get rid of all those ones because it is valuable, and always
Yeah.
lead with value. But as a business owner, also do remember that the value is not supposed to overrun you. It shouldn't cost you an arm and a leg. It shouldn't
Mm.
be a resentment to you, and you should definitely not be losing money with tripwires and with lead magnets.
Yeah.
That tripwire part should be able. It's either a very small purchase, so you could even ask. A lot of the high end coaches currently ask $20, $15 for an hour group session where they do that
Right.
as a lead magnet, which is basically you paying to go to a sales seminar, which
Yeah.
is, but you also do get massive amounts of value out of it. So think about all that. These are strategies to get customers in line with you.
Yeah.
Designers. I've worked with a designer before where we've told them to just go in, design one section of the house,
Yep.
and then for free, just do the design. They can pay you then for the implementation as well, but for the one section. And then usually they also get hired to do, now, if it's the kitchen, to do the lounge, and from the lounge to do the bedrooms, from the
Yeah.
bedrooms to do the study. All of these things, because now usually they have this one phenomenal piece, and the rest kind of like doesn't fit anymore.
Makes it look a bit tired. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what you've done is you created that that value and that want and that need. So to
Mm.
bring that back into your marketing strategy, again, we're starting out with our traffic sources. Where do we get our traffic from? Where do our clientele hang out? What do they want? How do they want that? Market research is really there. And if I can put like follow the favor, follow the want. If your target
Mm.
audience wants a certain thing, give that to them.
Yeah.
If you're looking at all the various social media platforms, there was a need that came from the audience, it came from the market.
Yeah.
TikTok created this based on customer behavior, based on user behavior. I can guarantee you that because TikTok was such a success, now Google is trying to do the same type of thing in
Yeah.
their way. But that's what it means. You always listen to what your customer and your clientele need and what they
Yeah.
want. That's how you serve your audience.
Yeah.
So again, where do we get our traffic sources from?
Yeah.
How do you want this? What is that one thing that can turn a glance into a stare? What is
Mm.
that thing that would make someone say, all right, I'll give you a chance for a very small thing? That tripwire should be a no brainer. It shouldn't
Yeah.
be a difficult decision. It should be a very easy yes. It shouldn't be something that costs you as a company very much, and it must be perceived as massive value.
Okay.
The next step after that is now you have, after you've given the value and people are excited about the offering that you have done and what you have been presenting to them, then give them your core offering, whatever that might be. So that is then to say, all right, well, I'm so glad that you enjoyed this 15-minute breakthrough session with me. You know what? I've got this online course that I think would be absolutely phenomenal to you. But
Yeah.
if you want a more intimate relationship, then of course, I'd like you to offer this. When you
Yeah.
do offerings within your marketing plan, always try to give three options:
Ah.
a
Okay.
high end ticket, a middle end ticket, and a low item ticket. Start with
Okay.
the high end and then kind of downsell yourself to the item that you actually want them to be in.
Mm.
That always helps a lot because then people don't feel like they are trapped in something.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's much easier in terms of a comfort zone for me because I'm not feeling like sell, 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 the salesy
Exactly,
car
exactly,
person or something. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. So marketing is all about getting that traffic to the door. Sales is how
Mm.
you open the door.
Mm. How do you describe the difference between the lead magnet and the tripwire? Is it just that this one's free and this one's not? Or,
Not necessarily. A lead magnet is anything that's usually in the form of content. So it is in the form of blogging or SEO or um, YouTube or Pinterest or emails. It is usually that offering that you
Mhm.
put in the contact that turns someone's attention to you. So when you walk past someone and they go, hey, that,
Yeah.
oh, that's what a lead magnet is.
Okay.
A tripwire is that thing that makes someone go, well, come here. And they actually take the steps.
Yeah. Okay.
Does it make sense what the
It
difference
does, because yeah, you're actually asking them to make a move towards you in a sense.
is?
So yeah.
Some
Okay.
sort of commitment. And the
Yeah.
commitment could be a call because it's their time then, a
Yeah.
commitment in the form of a monetary value, commitment in the form of filling out a form. You are asking for some sort of commitment from your target audience.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
but that is mainly the difference between a lead magnet and a tripwire.
Okay. I think I've been caught up in offering too much value in terms of, you know, well, email content and article content and video content and so on. But I've been under the understanding that you need to do that because people need to like, know, and trust you before they'll actually purchase from you. So
That
it's
is
actually give,
that
give, 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 give.
it is true, but some sort of line you also need to be able to take that content and that giving and turn it into a purchase. Otherwise, why are we in business?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I've just been listening to, can't remember what it was now, but something that was it. A lot of people were saying, oh, it was a workshop actually, and a lot of people were saying, yeah, give, 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 but I'm not getting anything back. I'm not getting any return on that time investment. So, yeah,
Majority of the time is that there's a lack in the call to action. A
yes,
lot of the
okay,
times it's that to say, well, if you are stressed or if you do this, here's my 10 tips on how to relieve your stress by tapping. Do it here, think of this, da 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 da. But you
yeah,
know what? If you want the rest, I've given you my first five. If you want the extra five, book a call.
yeah, yes, that's good. Yeah, yeah,
So that's
absolutely.
the difference. It is, yes, lead with value. I'm 100% agree with that. But you need to leave the clientele wanting for the rest as well. Because
Mm,
otherwise, you're always in the friend zone.
yeah, exactly.
That is the truth. How do you get someone out of the friend zone? So if you are already, for for lack of better words, if you are already sleeping and living with the person and you're already giving everything else, what what leaves that person to want to marry you or to do
Yeah,
that if you're already in this thing, if that is your want?
if that's what you want. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Yeah.
So be careful of being caught in the friend zone and never actually
Mm,
stepping over into what you actually want from this relationship.
good point. Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
the key. If you give so much in advance, yeah, that is a really good idea. And yes, please do that. But also
Yeah,
just remember that somewhere along the line, you need to be able to transfer this into the relationship that you want. And what
yeah,
I found is a lot of the time, if you give someone over and above the amount of value, that it becomes an expectation. And in
yes.
the long run, that is really not good for business. For
Mm,
example, um, we this is one of the clients that we've had. We It was a give back situation. It was
mhm,
a charity type of thing. However, there was a monetary value which was completely minimal for what we actually did. Um, and instead of gratitude that we got, we started getting expectation and we started getting resentment from this relationship.
mm,
Because
mm,
now what we agreed upon and what we'll give as a massive value to literally 10% of our normal price,
yeah.
it started becoming an, yeah, but why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Why is this happening? So be careful of, and of course we ended the relationship. Um,
Yeah.
but that is also, that was a very clear message and lesson to us where yes, value is very important, but majority of the
Mm,
time give the value in a format that you leave them to want more. The
more.
key is to
Yeah.
leave them to wanting more in order for us to, when they go back, um, to then give the value after they've actually made the purchase. So if you
Yeah.
are wanting to give the person, for example, another half an hour for free, then they usually appreciate it more because you've set a certain expectation.
Yeah.
And that's also the difference. But that we're kind of going into more of a business relationship now and business consulting,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
that forms part of your sales instead of just focusing on the marketing plan.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
definitely chat about that. So, but let's focus on our marketing. But
On the
that's a
market.
very, very, very good point that you have. That people go,
Yeah.
I give and I give and I give and I don't get anything back
Yeah.
because usually you give too much. You don't
And then
you
the
don't leave any,
resentment builds
yeah,
up.
you don't
Yeah.
leave anything for the imagination. Lack
Yeah.
of better words.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So now that we've got our traffic sources, where do they come from? We got our lead magnet, what turns a glance into a stare. We got our tripwire that makes someone actually come towards us for what we want them to do. And we've got now offered them our core offering, right? What is the
Hmm.
next step in our marketing plan? We kind of need to give them now profit maximizer. There's only four ways that any business ever can make money. And it is either to gain more clients, gain more
Hmm.
leads, increase the profit that we have per customer, or increase the frequency that our customers are purchasing from. And you don't have to add extra service offerings in order to do that because usually that comes with more costs as well.
Yeah.
And it comes with more learnings, and then eventually you don't make any money with extra things that are outside of what you specialize in. So
Yeah.
how can we adjust the service offering that you do have into a manner and into a way that we can add and increase more of the profit
Mm.
that you make? So these are the different things that you think of. For example, changing it to a per hour retainer or a per project retainer. Or
Hmm.
how can we add an extra thing? So instead of um, purchasing some of the products by outsourcing, can you supply the same product for them? Is there
Yeah.
a profit share that you can have with a joint venture, for example? Um, these are all different types of aspects, but you have to start thinking about how can we increase the profit that you have on your customer. And it's never
Yeah.
a once-off thing. Don't think
Mm.
about that it has to be immediate right now. When we talk profit maximizers, it is the lifelong value of the customer that we're looking in.
Right. Yeah.
It's not immediate. This is a slow game. And of course, when we got received all of this and we are able to make a good purchase or a good relationship with the customer, we use all of that as content to feed back into our funnel.
Mm.
Now you have case studies, you have testimonials. And when other people start talking about you, it is so much more valuable
Yes.
you
Yes.
talk about yourself.
Absolutely.
Try and do customer interviews. These type of things also work phenomenally well. So Suzanne, if you have a client, which I know you do, that have been had got breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough with you, would they
Yeah.
be open to having a recorded 5-10 minute interview with you? Say,
Yeah.
well, how
What
does this
I've
sound?
discovered is
Mm,
I always thought that they wouldn't because it was that kind of client counselor confidentiality thing. But lately I've been actually asking, and so many people respond, yes, they would be happy to do that. Blows my
exactly.
mind. Yeah.
It's because you're not displaying or you're not giving out their personal info. What you're doing is you're
No.
talking about the success. You're talking about
Yeah.
the breakthrough. You're talking about everyone goes through something horrible, but because I met Suzanne and she
Yeah.
helped me through this, I was
Yeah.
able to reach XYZ.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
And
That's right.
people always, how can I put this? You love someone more than if you give something to them than when you receive something.
Yeah.
That's why majority of the time, if you look at a service agreement, if we give something to that person in the form of a value add or a lead magnet or whatever, if we give first, usually in that relationship, we are more invested than the person that is receiving.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
So that type of things also starts playing a role when you have now a long-term relationship with your client and they start investing back into you.
Yeah.
That's when the key is, and that's where the switch happens, and that's when you are able to build, my apologies, a LTV, a lifetime value with this customer.
Mm. Nice. I like.
I'm glad. So I think that would be it for today, guys. If any one of you have got questions, please do put it on our post. Our mastermind
Yeah.
is also be live. We're just waiting for some of our ladies to get all of their content in. But our mastermind would be live, and you're more than welcome to come and have a chat with us. We would love, love, love to meet each and every one of you. Join our Facebook group, join our Facebook page, join our Instagram, and just connect with us. Our mastermind, I will be focusing on marketing specifically and how to increase your marketing spend, how to get better return on investment. And I really hope that you guys find value in what we're talking about. Suzanne, tell us a bit about you.
Well, my section in the mastermind is all about the mindset and breaking through those barriers that hold us all back. No matter how successful people are, there's always some limit to them expanding. And it's always just some stuck energy. And once you clear it, you can just shine completely as you were meant to.
I'm just thinking, I think next time we should be talking about how to clear that and break through that. Sometimes, specifically, entrepreneurs feel lost and that they don't know how to even put a marketing plan together. Because that's
Yeah.
another limiting belief, which, yeah, you might not have the skills, but you do have the know how of your specific product. No one knows
Yeah,
your product the way that you do, no one knows your business the way that you do,
exactly. Yeah.
but no one
And
loves your business the way that you do.
yeah, yeah, and often it'll be something sneaky that is holding you back, that you think, why am I stuck? Why am I not moving? It's like I'm in, glue or quicksand or something. And it's
Yeah.
just a little lack of belief in yourself, or I'm not good enough and I shouldn't be shining more than someone else, or whatever it is. And it's easy to shift. It really is. So you just,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, I look forward. You're going to be here next time, same place, same time. So we look forward to you, and guys, be
Yeah.
really pleased to connect with us. Send us a DM. We'd love to speak to you.
Excellent. See you then. Okay.
Bye.
Thanks, Stephanie. Bye bye.